Hey, Amber.
They saw my tum-tum!
The moon landing didn't happen.
Are you actually gonna wear that?
Sorry, but like, ew.
Did she spray Pam on the food?
That ass, though.
You're lolcows. That's what you guys do.
I swear, I always feel like I'm wearing the same shirt when I start my videos. It's just so comfy.
Hey folks, what's good? I'm your Game Master Deets, and today we're reviewing the results of the latest edition of the Gorl Games, the Krystle Era 3, the final countdown. Now, if you're new to the Gorl Games, don't worry. This video will still be a good watch. Before we dig into the quiz, I always set the scene, just to give you a bit of context to the time period or topic of the quiz. After that, I pull up questions one at a time, and then I show a graph of how people answered each one before revealing the answer via video clip. So, I don't know, we kind of get like a quiz, some commentary, and a compilation video all rolled up into one. Sound good? Alright. I'll also include some timestamps in the description if you'd like to skip directly to a specific section of the video. In the last Gorl Games, we left off in the Krystle Era, with Amber questioning if YouTube was actually even right for her at all.
I really am obsessed with making YouTube videos. It's become a really big hobby for me, but I feel like I'm a little worried. Is YouTube right for me?
Hater Nation was already gaining momentum with Capstone 1892 and people like the elusive book troll. Remember, this was before the time of reaction channels. So as much as Amberlynn likes to blame them, negative feedback started a long time before any single reactor popped up on YouTube.
I also got a couple comments saying how I'm kind of like faking who I am on YouTube. I'm not at all. I'm not faking who I am.
Amberlynn had already made several videos about the hate that she was receiving.
I don't know what to do. I'm kind of stuck in a rock and a hard place because I really do enjoy putting up videos, but I feel like
she was dropping that Krystle Era mask and raging at the camera, or showing up as Victim Lynn.
I'm shocked. I'm trying to do something good, but I'm just going to show you how pissed off I am right now. I try to be as honest as possible, and I am. And I kind of get a lot of backlash for it. I feel like, you know, there's no one really out there like me on YouTube.
She would talk about how she regretted opening up so much on camera, wishing that she hadn't started out as a weight loss channel.
I really, really regret opening up so personally. I just want to let you guys know that I am more than someone who's trying to lose weight. I am more than obese. I am a really kind-hearted, funny person. I have a gigantic story that I would love to share, and it's not all revolving around my weight.
Even though so much of her content still revolved around food.
I drink vitamin waters. I'm sure they're not the best for you. I eat fast food. Looking at the protein bars. This little fella is 390 calories. That is insane to me. The Cheesecake Factory is like probably one of my favorite restaurants. I don't eat fruits and vegetables every day. I honestly have binged, I want to say about 4 times a week for a couple months now. Lately I've been really liking this mint power crunch.
I mean, pretty much the same as it is today. Well, minus some of the smugness, I guess.
I don't fake who I am. I am who I am.
In any case, much to absolutely no one's surprise, Amberlynn just did not understand why people didn't like her.
I have been getting an incredibly amount of negative feedback on my videos lately. I don't know why people dislike me.
It's just been over a decade of not understanding that feeding the trolls will never work in her favor. It's a never-ending story in a cyclical world. As for her relationship with Krystle was still making clicking noises in the background.
Sorry for the clicking. Krystle is currently playing Rock Band.
She was clearly getting more and more fed up with Amberlynn. Her disdain for Amber, I mean, it was shining through, just in the way that she would respond to Amberlynn or even just look at her. And I kind of love that for Krystle, to be honest. Amber was still making fun of her, putting her down.
Oh, look at all those too. Show 'em. It's just endless balloons. Okay. There you go. Look at, she's not a good filmer. She's not used to it, but I'm not a good filmer. Look at all that.
I know their entire vibe has just been off for a while at this point.
Are you done? Yeah, I'm done.
And maybe I'm reading too much into it, but Krystle had even started playing different types of video games, including this UFC one, which honestly makes me wonder if it was her way of blowing off steam. We know that Amber finally started getting clued into the relationship issues because she was starting to do more chores. We'd see her doing laundry and dusting, all the things that she used to make Krystle do. Now Amber was doing them and making a big deal about, how much she was helping out around the house.
And then right before I vacuum, I like to put this Pet Fresh carpet odor eliminator. It smells so good.
She's so transparent. And to this day, somehow, she has no idea that her audience is much smarter than she thinks we are. It was still a whole lot of non-tent going on. She was still showing us her jewelry and her outfits. And I'm not gonna lie, after having learned about Choosy, I will never look at any collection of Amberlynn's the same way again. As she showed off her necklaces and her earrings in this one video, all I could think to myself was, did she make Krystle choose which ones to keep and which to donate? Which drawers they would all go in? Which hook to hang them on? Ugh, seriously just dark. After literal years of almost no new side characters, in these last few weeks of the relationship, we actually got to meet a few more.
Hello.
They start spending time with Krystle's grandma and her aunt. They go to their homes, they go shopping, even, have some game nights. Grandma seemed like a pretty funny lady, I'm not gonna lie. She would drink, get tipsy, start dancing. I will say that I'm curious about all the time that Amberlynn was spending with Wanda's sister and Krystle's grandmother. I don't know, I kind of think that it might have been an intentional way to separate Krystle from Amber, while Krystle was working through her feelings about breaking up with Amberlynn. Maybe had a chat with Krystle and came up with this as a way to distract Amber a little bit, in order to give Krystle the time and space she might have needed to, A, just get some relief from Amberlynn's constant presence.
Hair's a mess. Hair's a mess.
And B, help Krystle gain the courage to break up with Amber. This is just a theory, of course, but knowing Krystle's been so over Amber for so long at this point, and how overbearing Amberlynn can be, and also regarding the breakup timeline, that's one of the questions in the quiz, so we'll dig into that lore when we get to that part of the video.
I'm a little scared, but that's okay.
But I will say, just like Amberlynn loves to do today, she actually tried to keep that timeline kind of quiet. So in addition to not announcing the breakup right away, she was also putting backdated content out. So what she was publishing was actually almost a week old, maybe even more. We did end up learning the truth after the fact. But even going back and looking at all the videos that she posted during the breakup, it's kind of interesting to see what she was posting and when, and what was actually before and after the breakup. All right. I think that sets us up pretty well enough for the quiz. Let's get to the questions.
And now, the Game Show Network presents...
So all of the questions on this quiz are from the last 50 or so days before the official breakup video. I had to specify breakup video due to that whole timeline shift that I was just talking about. Otherwise, technically, some were kind of after the breakup, but before the breakup video. Right? All right. Question number 1. One of the times when Amber, Krystle, and Krystle's family go to Grandma's house, they all play a game. What was the game? The options here are loaded questions, dirty minds, never have I ever, or Cards Against Humanity. 41.8% of people guessed that it was Cards Against Humanity, while there was a pretty even split between loaded questions and dirty minds, with 26.4% and 25.3% respectively. And never have I ever had the rest. If I'm going to be perfectly honest here, I don't think I want to play any of those games with my grandmother, but to each their own, I guess. Let's see what the answer was.
But you could tell that if he just twisted a nose.
Are they playing that Dirty Minds game with their grandma? What the fuck?
Ready to sleep. What are you doing? You spread me on your slice before you eat me.
No, I love her face when she starts to crack up. Oh my god.
Pretty funny lady. I wish Amberlynn had kind of spent more time with Grandma throughout her time with Krystle. It would have brought some more humor and levity into the mix. Also, at this point in time, I'm pretty sure that the only thing that Krystle and Amber did together anymore was play board games. Amberlynn showed us their collection of board games, and holy crap, I have never. Moving on to question 2. Before the breakup, Amberlynn took a few weeks off from vlogging. When she came back, she promoted all her different social accounts, but she had changed her username on Instagram from Must Be Pearls to this. The options here were Satin and Lace Lover, Destiny Calling, Curvy Calories, or Amberlynn's Journey to 199. Most people guessed it was Curvy Calories. That was 36.3%. And the next highest was Amberlynn's Journey to 199 with 30.8%. 22% went to Satin and Lace Lover, and 11% with Destiny Calling. She did not actually offer an explanation for this username change when she first announced it.
You guys can talk to me on Instagram. My name on there actually changed down below. It used to say my name on there was Must Be Pearls, but I changed it to Amberlynn's Journey to 199. So if you guys want to look for me on there, you can.
But she did explain it a bit more afterwards. And yes, it was exactly what it sounded like.
I really want to see my transformation. My big overall goal is to be 199.8 one day. If I'm ever in Wonderland, the 100s, I literally will just die. I have been wanting to kind of see the progression happen, and I'm super excited for it. If you guys want to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is Amberlynn's Journey to 199. I will post it right here so you guys can kind of see. Today is actually day 9 or 10. I'm pretty sure today's day 10, to be honest. I post a lot about my weight loss journey on Instagram. I don't so much speak about it on YouTube like all the time like I used to, because there is more to me than just weight loss.
Amberlynn wanted to use Instagram to post photos of herself on her journey to Wonderland. Well, specifically to reach 199.8 lbs.
Today I'm day 12. I've done this for 12 days. Now, that's props, because I really want to go back and see like my transformation. I want to be like, okay, this is what I look like on day 36 and this is what I look like on day 136. I think it'll be really interesting just to see. I don't know. I really want to see it. Like, sometimes the scale isn't important. Sometimes it is. Obviously it is for me because I am 400 plus pounds. But sometimes just to visually see your weight loss other than on the scale, or other than like you just feel better, sometimes it's just nice.
I guess it's pretty sad knowing that journey has most definitely not been going well. On to question 3, and I think this is probably going to be a lot of people's favorite question, to be honest. Amberlynn made a meal for Krystle and called it Grandma's Recipe, saying it was something Mama Lynn used to make her when she was little. What were the ingredients? The options on this one were pasta, pesto, bacon, pepper, and chives, spaghetti, eggs, soy sauce, bacon, and scallions, potato, chicken, salsa, olives, and sour cream, or spaghetti, sausage, onions, and soy sauce. Now, man, I don't think I want to eat any of those. But 71.4% of people did say spaghetti, eggs, soy sauce, bacon, and scallions. 13.2% went with spaghetti, sausage, onions, and soy sauce. 7.7% guessed it was pasta, pesto, bacon, pepper, and chives. And the rest went to the potato, chicken, salsa, olives, and sour cream. So at first, I was actually convinced that that Amberlynn just totally made up this recipe in order to try to use her sharing of a family tradition with Krystle as a kind of emotional manipulation. You know, I'm making this super sentimental meal for you. Love me for it. That kind of thing. But I'm actually pretty sure that this was a recipe from Mama Lynn. If I have my lore correct, Amber's Aunt Tammy pretty much confirmed that this was something like a struggle meal that Mama Lynn had made back in the day when times were particularly tough. And in fact, it was not a family tradition passed down from Mama Lynn's grandmother. It's not called Grandma's recipe because it was Amberlynn's grandma. Mama Lynn said it was her grandmother. So it would have actually been Amberlynn's great-grandma.
I remember the first time my mom ever made it, I was just a pee-wee little squirt way down here. I was really tiny, and every time she'd ask, okay, what do you guys want for dinner? I'd always say Grandma's recipe, because that's what she calls it, because it was her grandma's recipe.
Let's watch Amber make this delicious meal.
Something my mother used to make for me. I wanted to kind of just make something like that for Krystle so she can experience it. It's super simple. Some plain spaghetti, scallion, a little bit of crispy bacon. This is already cooked, thank God. A little bit of soy sauce and some egg. Normally, it would be just regular soy sauce, but I got light, and it would be just the full egg, but I do egg whites. So I'm super excited for Krystle to try it. I have my water trying to boil. This is for the egg whites. It's so simple. I just gotta put this in the microwave, crisp it up, cut some of these. If you guys are ever in a hurry to make something, this is probably one of the best things you could try. I always shorten my pasta. I don't like it when it's all long. It's harder to eat. Looks like it's boiling, so I'm gonna put these in here. Make sure this is done. The only thing I added to the egg whites is some pepper. Okay, here we go. Pasta. I don't put any butter or oil on my pasta, so it kind of sticks. Egg is next. Then we got ourselves our bacon. Soy sauce. Gotta be careful. Don't want to put too much. Oh, it comes out easy. And then, this is my favorite part of the whole meal. Topping it off with some scallion. So, that's the final product. And to me, this is one of my favorite meals. Here you go, Krystle. This one's yours.
Okay, so even though Amber kept harping on this family tradition aspect of the recipe, Aunt Tammy did say that it was, it wasn't a family tradition and just something that Mama Lynn made up during tough times. Which in retrospect, once again, makes all of this kind of sad. And even worse, that Amber made up this lie to use it against Krystle.
So, since she's a picky person, I was like, oh my god, she's not gonna like my family tradition food, but she liked it, so that's all I'm happy about.
It was 18 or so days before the breakup, right? So think about the timing on that.
It's not a lie, if you believe it.
There is also the other option that Mama Lynn did make up that story about it being her grandma's recipe and lied to Amber about it. You know, in which case Amber wouldn't be the one who was lying in this particular story. Either way, it is still pretty sad though. I'd also like to note that this video has a huge number of views on it compared to other videos of Amberlynn's at this time. And I don't doubt for 1 second that it has to do with the fact that Zachary Michael did a video making this recipe.
So I'm going to give you some play-by-play of me cooking this. It's going to be great.
Which is yet another example of how reaction channels actually help Amberlynn. I mean, her views skyrocketed from like 1,000 to 3,000 views per video to over 62,000 views at time of filming. There is kind of a part of me that wants to make this recipe myself. And it's not because I think it would taste good. I think it's because my brain can't like put these ingredients together and form what they would taste like. It hurts my brain too much thinking about mixing these flavors, and thus I want to know what the answer is. But at the same time, I also do not want to try this recipe. So we'll see where we end up there. Let's move on to question 4. Just before the official breakup video, we see Amber drive for the very first time with Krystle. How long do they end up driving in circles around that parking lot? Now, the options on this one were 1.5 hours, 2 hours, 2.5 hours, or 3 hours. Most people guessed 3 hours, with 49.5% of people saying that one. And then the rest were kind of split amongst the other 3 options. 22% saying 2 hours, 15.4% saying 1.5 hours, and 13.2% saying 2.5 hours. Before watching this, I actually thought we only saw Amberlynn drive once with Krystle, and it turns out that's not true. This was just the first time. So, I guess let's just hop in the car with Amber behind the wheel for the very first time and find out.
Babe, I'm scared. I don't know if I can do this. I've never been...
Is it pressed down?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna put
wait. I'm actually moving the car. This is the funniest thing.
Are you just going in circles?
I need to pay attention. Okay, what happens if I just braked it? Okay, now, if I take my foot off the brake all the way, how fast are we gonna go?
Not fast.
I feel like I'm flying.
Well, not even going around like 3 miles an hour.
I have never driven before. Oh! I'm too scared to press gas. I'm never pressing gas.
You're gonna have to. Just try it a little bit.
Oh my god, I pressed gas, babe! And then if I take my foot off of gas, it slows down.
Well.
Oh my god, Krystle, you made me do this. I cannot believe you. Am I gonna get in trouble?
Isn't it like somehow dystopian seeing Amberlynn drive?
I've been driving for an hour and a half. I've been driving for legit an hour and a half, and I'm no longer crying. I'm no longer freaking out. Krystle's helping me. I'm just amazed that I'm doing this because I never, like, driving is a fear of mine. Being in a car is a fear of mine. Let me turn down this music. And it's just, I don't know. It's like shocking and overwhelming that I'm doing this, but it's like so much fun, and I really see myself getting a license in the future because I like to drive. I mean, I've been just doing it in a parking lot, but the place where I'm at currently, the parking lot is probably like 10 miles big. I don't know how to explain it, because there's like a bunch of different stores and things like that, and I don't know. I've been doing it for an hour and a half. We were gonna go to a movie and now we're not, because I'm so obsessed with this, and Krystle's totally fine with it because it was her idea for me to drive anyhow, because she honestly thinks I need to grow up, learn how to drive.
It does seem like Amber was enjoying it. I mean, she was annoying and shrieky, but she looked like she had fun. I don't know. She drove until it was dark time, and ended up driving for about 1.5 hours this first lesson. I mean, they even skipped out on going to the movie in favor of Amber continuing with her lesson. She always talks about her anxiety for driving, and yet you see her here having a really good time. So the fact that Krystle did this for Amberlynn as like one last nice thing for her, knowing that their relationship was over. Maybe this was one way to make sure Amberlynn would, in fact, move out of her parents' house sometime soon. Of course, we know that Amber never got her license, and truth be told, based on what we saw even in this just like one clip, it makes me very glad she never got her license. I mean, the screeching, the laughing, oh God, the distractions, the potential for Amberlynn to get into like intense fights over stupid topics while she was driving. All of that just makes me think that we are all safer without her behind the wheel.
So yeah, be proud of me, you guys, please. I'm conquering a fear, and I'm enjoying it and loving it.
She did practice driving with Krystle a couple more times. So that brings me to our next question. During a driving lesson, Amberlynn gets distracted by something and points it out to Krystle. What was it? The options here were a dog, a restaurant, a bird, or a squirrel. 58.2% of people went with a squirrel, 24.2% said a restaurant, 13.2% said a bird, and the rest went with a dog. All right, well, I guess it's time to let Amber drive us around a parking lot one last time for the day. So, buckle up, everyone.
Are you recording me? Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm driving again. So, it's 5:07. I've been driving for probably an hour. Squirrel, 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 squirrel!
Where?
Right there, right there. Look, 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 look.
Where? Oh.
Do you see it?
Yeah.
Aw. Alright, anyways. So I've been driving for like an hour around this, like this parking lot is so big because there's so many stores. It's so fun. Right now I'm behind Walmart again. I'll probably drive for, I don't know, another hour, hour and a half. And then Krystle and I are gonna go, are you even recording my face?
Yeah.
Oh, because it looks like you're recording like right here.
Oh no, I see your face.
Oh, and then Krystle and I are gonna, oh God.
I'm sure you do.
Krystle and I are gonna go, what are you even doing?
Okay.
Hello, this is the Shade Hotline.
I love how completely unimpressed Krystle was with the squirrel. Again, it's just another example of how over it Krystle was. And then, she was totally shady with the camera. Amberlynn hated it so much. And I just love all of this for Krystle. I love it all. In any case, it was a squirrel that distracted Amber while driving, which once again makes me even more certain that she should never get her license. We do not need yet another distracted menace on the road, So let's move on to the next question. Minnie just is not getting in her bed. Minnie, go lay down. Go to your bed. Here you go. There's a CorgiCam for everyone. All right. Thank you. Well, at least we got that for the day. It's not that we really needed a palate cleanser for this, though, I guess. I still wanted people to get to see mini waffles. All right. Back to the quiz. Where were we? Right. Right before the big breakup, Krystle got something new because the old one was broken since day one. What was purchased? The options were a dresser, an iPhone, a laptop, or a mattress? Now, this one was pretty split with the answers. 37.4% of people said a mattress, 30.8% said a laptop, 23.1% went with an iPhone, and 8.8% of people said a dresser. This one, well, it is an interesting one, I will say that. So let's watch the footage before we chat.
Now I have to drag this puppy into the hallway. The reason why we're getting a new bed is because for some reason Krystle's side is saggy, and it's been like that since day one. We got it over a year ago, but we just never said anything, so we felt bad because this was an insanely expensive bed. It was to the point of we had to put blankets underneath the actual mattress. So now we're getting a harder mattress, but still a foam mattress.
All right. So the correct answer here was, in fact, a new mattress. But what makes it interesting is not the mattress itself, but I guess it's like the way I see the decision all coming together, but with the timing of it all. We have a couple more scenes I want to watch. First, there's this scene.
Got the mattress out with the help of Krystle's dad, thankfully, because this puppy was heavy. Now Krystle's vacuuming in here. Smokes, why are you so scared of the vacuum, huh?
Krystle is cleaning her entire room. You know, she's got that vacuum going. And to me, this feels a lot less like new bed day and a whole lot more like out with the old girlfriend day. You know what I mean? She was practically saging that room to rid it of Amberlynn. And the timing? This bed arrived literally the day before. This was literally the day before she finally and officially broke up with Amber. This feels like a celebration to me. But I do have one more scene for you.
We got our new bed. It's identical to the other one, besides it's more firm. Like it's more hard instead of soft. We laid on it and it feels freaking amazing. Funny story though, when we picked up the old mattress, we realized that on Krystle's side, the bed frame was actually broken. So that was what was causing the bed to be super saggy, but it's nice to get a new bed and a new box frame.
It was never even an issue with the mattress to begin with. The bed frame itself was broken. So it turned out they purchased this whole new fancy mattress, even though technically it was just an issue with the frame. Amber still had to mention that it was broken on Krystle's side, implying Krystle was the one who broke it. And sure, maybe that was the side of the bed that Krystle slept on. However, if you may have noticed in that clip, the way that the bed was positioned in the bedroom meant that Amber's side of the bed would be against the wall. That meant Amber would need to climb over and past Krystle's side to get to hers. Do with that information what you will. Next question. The day before the breakup, Amber answered all 4 questions on this card for her viewers. The first question read, if you owned a professional sports team, what would be your team name? The options here were the Blue Team, Rarity, Charlie's Angels, or the Gems. 50.5% of people guessed that it was the Gems, while 23.1% said Rarity, 18.7% said Charlie's Angels, and 7.7% said the Blue Team. Now, we all know how much Amber loves sports, so let's find out.
I'm going to choose a random card. I'm kind of scared to do this, and I'm going to answer all the questions on the front part right now. So, here we go. If you owned a professional sports team, what would be your team name? Rarity.
Okay, so I will say that I had a particularly good time coming up with the fake answers on this question. One, because the answer Amber actually gives, I mean, it makes no sense whatsoever. But also because blue team. And look, back to the first thing, like, those of us who know her history with the name Rarity, you know, aren't going to give it much of a second thought. But if you didn't know, like, okay, Amber. The next question on the card. At the end of a Chinese meal, what would you like your fortune to read? What did she hope for? Marriage, wealth, success, or love? 44% of people said love. 27.5% said marriage. 20.9% went with success. And then the rest went to wealth.
At the end of a Chinese meal, what would you like your fortune to read? Something positive, maybe something saying that I am going to be successful.
And look, sure, this is just some silly question on a board game card. We don't really need to examine her answer too intensely. But I will say, I'm not that surprised that success is where she went first. As much as she does want to get married, in my opinion, success will always come first in Amberlynn's mind. You know, she will do, and has done, pretty much anything to prove that she has attained success in order to fuel her inflated sense of grandiosity. She wants to be admired. She's said over and over again that she wants to be an inspiration. Amberlynn Reid craves attention, and the best way to prove to herself that she's better than everyone else is by being successful. So I think that is why this is a really easy question for her to answer. But let's move on. And I do apologize for this one. Question 3 on the card asked what her favorite word for a bowel movement was. The dumps, I don't poop, the poop emoji, or number 2. 48.4% of people said number 2. 28.6% said the poop emoji. 12.1% I don't poop. And 11% said the dumps. I will say that if I didn't already know the answer because of making this, I probably would have gotten this one wrong. So let's see what Amberlynn had to say about this one.
What is your favorite word for a bowel movement? Well, I don't really use a word. I use a little poop emoji. That's pretty cute.
Poop emoji it is, people. On to the last one, which, if I'm being honest here, is the whole reason I brought this board game card into our lives today. So listen up. The last question on the card read, what is the greatest pain you have ever suffered? And what did she say? The options that I gave were gallstones, the loss of love, a spine injury, or a broken ankle. All feasible. 50.5% of people said gallstones, and they had been giving her a lot of trouble during the Krystle Era. 33% of people said the loss of love, 11% said a broken ankle, and the rest went to her bulging disc in her spine. And I will say that this one kind of took me by surprise. Upon reflection, it shouldn't have. But in the moment, before considering the context, well, here, I'll let her give her answer, and then we can chat a little more.
Last one is, what is the greatest pain you've ever suffered? Probably just the loss of love in any sort of way.
The loss of love in any sort of way.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure that right there was a guilt tactic. Krystle was sitting right there. She was right next to Amberlynn. They were waiting to play this game, and Krystle was just waiting for Amber to stop filming. And then boom, she gets hit with this guilt trip. And sure, this is my opinion, not a fact. But come on, Amber. The way she just delivered that, and on this day, it was the literal day before Krystle broke up with her. I think Amberlynn and Krystle had been fighting. Amber knew the breakup was coming, so she just decided to send this little jab right over to Krystle because she had this opportunity handed to her. I actually wonder how Krystle responded to that comment, you know? Was it the rolled eyes, a cold stare, some choice words muttered under her breath? I don't know, I digress. But man, I will just let this walk us right in to the next question. What day did Krystle break up with Amberlynn? The options here were March 17th, April 1st, April 5th, or April 14th. 67% of people did say April 1st, and the rest of the people were kind of split amongst the rest of the options.
Krystle and I were having like a little issue. We were trying to work it out for about 2 weeks. We didn't tell anybody. We just kept everything private completely. And on April 1st, everything kind of blew up into smoke. We decided to break up.
April Fools. Oh, this isn't a joke. Today is the day. And the very reason that this video is being published on April 1st, 2025. We are celebrating today. It is the day that Krystle finally broke up with Amberlynn. Everyone, please join me in a moment of silence in honor of the end of an era. Well, I guess only sort of, because the thing is, Krystle's not actually kicking Amber to the curb, you know? Because Amberlynn doesn't have anywhere to go. Truthfully, Amberlynn would have been homeless had it not been for the unending, often mystifying generosity of Krystle's parents. And they still let her stay there and will continue to pay for Amber's entire life until destiny knocks on that door to take Amberlynn off their hands and out of their lives. Now, even though the official breakup video was posted to YouTube on April 15th, Krystle actually did break up with Amber a couple weeks earlier. I was kind of curious. I wanted to see what that timeline looked like as far as what Amber was publishing in reality versus the day it was made and created. Anyway, she technically didn't have any uploads on April 1st, or unless they've been deleted since. But on April 6th, Amberlynn uploaded a vlog that had been filmed on March 31st. And that's the one where we learned about the mattress and the bed frame, and she answered all of those questions on that card. I mean, even though it was filmed beforehand, Amberlynn edited and uploaded that entire vlog about Krystle getting a new bed after the breakup. And that breakup video, with the red blanket, has become rather infamous at this point, for more than one reason. In fact, I've actually been working on a new video specifically about studying this breakup video, so keep an eye out for that pretty soon. Yeah. Now, I did have a bonus question at the end of the quiz. It was totally optional. You did not have to answer it if you didn't have anything to say, but the question was, what was your favorite moment in the Krystle era? And so what I did here was I actually just screenshot, I think I took 3 screenshots, of just some random ones that were here so you can kind of get an idea of what the answers were. There's too many to go through each and every one of them, but I think these 3 screenshots kind of get the point across as to generally what people were saying. Like, I almost kind of want to put a compilation together of all of these moments, but we'll see. I am kind of in my head moving on from the Krystle era to the Destiny era. I don't know if I really want to do that right now, but maybe. Let me know in the comments if that would be something you'd be interested in. So as I just mentioned, Krystle breaking up with Amberlynn did not mean that Amber was moving out immediately. Amber had spent over 3 years in their home, being taken care of and not getting any type of education and not working at any kind of job, not doing anything at all, really, to speak of. Just treating Krystle with zero respect and wasting the gift of a completely funded life that had been handed to her.
Just lucky, I guess.
We all know that Amberlynn was already talking to Destiny at this point, and she had been since February.
We had been talking since like February or something.
And it wouldn't be long before she dug her claws in deep and managed to move in with the next girlfriend and begin a new era. This time, however, she wouldn't have quite the same financial support. I mean, don't get me wrong, Destiny absolutely takes care of her, but she's gonna get smacked in the face a bit with the harsh reality of, reality. Lucky for Amber, her YouTube career was about to start. Oh man, the Destiny era. Things are gonna get spicy. But anyway, that brings me to today's reminder. Today's reminder: don't wait until you've ruined something to start appreciating it. All right, now make sure to subscribe if you'd like to participate in the next Gorl Games. And then look out for the announcement on my community tab with a link for the next quiz.
You should do that. Do it.
And if you wouldn't mind helping me out with the algorithm, hit like, share, leave a comment down below. And if you want to support this channel even more, you can become a channel member. Today's shout out goes to Mr. Snowflake. He reacted to one of my videos recently. I really seriously appreciated it. In fact, a bunch of new folks have been showing up here after seeing his video, so welcome to all of you. Whew. This has been a long one today. I'm going to leave a couple options on screen if you'd like to stick around and keep watching. But otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
I understand I am this major failure.
Can you believe I found this shirt? Like, I was looking for it for months, honestly. Finally decided to get it in black as blue would not come up, but black is my color anyway. Can you believe?